Hi and welcome everyone to another video on this channel. Today I'm gonna show you my watch list for Gaming 22. So if you wanna see who are the best players to target for this double game week, make sure you stay here. Okay, so as you can see, the first player on my watch list is a midfielder from Tottenham, Lucas Moura. He's pretty cheap, 6.5 millions, and maybe if you wanna go a little bit different, as you can see his ownership is just 4.7%, so he could be a decent pick. He scored just 2 goals and 3 assists this season, but you need to take into consideration that Lucas Moura didn't played all the games for Tottenham. He usually got rotated with Dele Alli, but the big problem with Lucas Moura before was Son. But at the moment, as things stands, Son is injured and Antonio Conte just said that maybe he's gonna miss 2 weeks, but we don't know that for sure. And obviously the best advice I can give you guys is to wait as much as possible till the deadline. Don't transfer out Son because we don't know exactly how bad is his injury. Maybe he's gonna be out for more weeks, maybe that injury is not that bad, but at the moment we know that Son is gonna miss 2 weeks, so that means he's gonna miss gaming 22, this double gaming, and also the game against Chelsea away. So that's why I think that Lucas Moura at the moment is gonna be nailed, and probably he's gonna play both games in this double gaming. He created 22 chances, he got 28 goal attempts. His XG plus XA per 90 is not amazing, 0.35. Obviously, I think that maybe there are some better picks in midfield than Lucas Moura, but maybe you have Son, maybe you want to keep a Spurs player. So if that's the case, maybe you want to go for Lucas Moura. Obviously, maybe Tottenham are not going to be the same team without Son, but obviously I think that Son being injured, I think that it makes Lucas Moura a better FPL asset because he's gonna play obviously more minutes. So the fixtures long term are not great. Chelsea away is gonna be tough. This double gaming is decent. Arsenal at home is gonna be tough from an attacking perspective, but Leicester away is a good fixture because they are not really keeping clean sheets. And also Southampton Leeds are gonna be decent fixture in gaming 24 and 27, but obviously we don't know if Lucas Moura is gonna play in those. And from an attacking perspective, again, Wolverhampton and Man City, the fixtures are not great long term, but maybe you want to free it, maybe you want to use your wildcard. If that's the case, I think that Lucas Moura is a great pick for this double gaming. The next player on my watch list is James Maddison, so a midfielder from Leicester. His price is 6.9 millions. I think that's a pretty fair price for what he can do on the pitch, and as you can see, his ownership is pretty low, still just 9.5%, but I'm pretty sure that his ownership is gonna rise a little bit when we approach the deadline for gaming 22. So before talking a little bit about Maddison's stats this season, just let me say that I just think that Maddison is still the best pick you can have from Leicester midfield, but there are so many good options at the moment, and maybe you prefer other player like, I don't know, Tielemans. He's on penalties, he's much more cheaper than Maddison. And yeah, when Vardy is out, and we know that Vardy is out for at least a month, Tielemans is gonna be on penalties. He's a nice enabler, and probably he's gonna play both games too. Another option could be Lookman. The thing with Lookman is he can play as a striker. He's cheaper than Maddison, but the thing is we don't know if he's gonna play both games because Daka is back from an injury, and probably he's gonna get some minutes too. So I think that there is a little risk with Lookman, but he looked really good in the FA Cup. And also the last pick from Leicester midfield is Harvey Barnes. He just came back from an injury. He just scored in the FA Cup too. So I think that there are so many good options in that midfield. Maybe if you want to free it, maybe you can go with 2 or even 3 Leicester midfielders on your free it for gaming 22. But if you have enough money still, I think that the safest option and the best option is still James Maddison. But that's just my opinion. So as you can see, he scored 5 goals and 5 assists this season, pretty decent. He was injured at some point, so he missed some games. He is creating chances, 19 chances created. He got 36 goal attempts, which is pretty decent. His XG plus XA per 90 is not amazing, 0.31, but we need to take into consideration that he is a playmaker, so he's not a player like, I don't know, Diogo Jota or Lucas Moura. So his XG plus XA per 90 is pretty decent for what he's doing on the pitch. He's gonna be on set pieces, on corners, on free kicks, so we know what he can do. He has that potential for assist and also for goals. We just saw he scored in the FA Cup 2 days ago. So this double gaming in gaming 22 is pretty decent for Leicester and for Maddison in particular. Burnley away is always a nice fixture, but obviously it's not amazing because we know that sometimes Burnley can defend really good, and Tottenham at home is gonna be pretty tough. But still, I think that for short term and in particular for this double game week, Maddison is gonna be a great pick. But the thing is, you can buy him for game week 22 for this nice double game week. You can even keep him and play him if needed against Brighton at home. But after that, we have some other opportunities. Probably in game week 24, Mohamed Salah is gonna be back from African Cup of Nations. So maybe you need to have a plan to buy Mohamed Salah back, right? Because he's the best player in FPL. So I think that Maddison could be a nice hold for Mohamed Salah. Obviously, you need to have some money in the bank. If not, you can just have Maddison for game week 22, and maybe in game week 23 you can buy someone like Coutinho if Aston Villa are gonna have a double game week. So firstly, obviously, we need to see how Coutinho is gonna adapt back to Premier League life, but obviously there are so many options and you don't need to keep Maddison long term. Next up on the list, we have a defender from Brighton. As you can see, Marc Cucurella. I think that a defender from Brighton must be on this watch list, at least for this double gaming, because we all know how good they can defend. And also I think that Marc Cucurella is the best option you can go in that Brighton defense. So he's not cheap, he's 5.1 millions, but I think that he's worth all the money. His ownership is really low, just 2.9%, so he's a differential. If you want to go a little bit different maybe with your team, I think that he's a really good option. He's the safest option in that defense because Cucurella played all the games this season for Brighton, so that's why I prefer him over Lamptey. Maybe he's not the most attacking defender from Brighton. As you can see, he has 0 goals and just 1 assist. That assist was against Chelsea, I think, if I'm not wrong, for Danny Welbeck. But the thing is, with Lamptey, yeah, maybe he's more attacking than Cucurella, maybe he's more advanced on the pitch, but the thing is, we don't know if Lamptey is gonna play all the games, right? Because I think that his minutes are still managed, obviously, because Brighton don't want to lose him due to an injury, so he's not gonna play all the games for Brighton, and that's why I think that going with Cucurella is the best option you can do. He got 6 clean sheets this season. Obviously, we know Brighton is a good defensive side in the Premier League. We know that they can keep clean sheets. They are playing really good against tougher opposition, so that's a really important thing for a defender like him. He got just 8 goal attempts. He created 21 chances. So, as I said before, maybe he's not the most attacking defender you can get, but his delivery is really good, his crossing is really good, so I think that with Brighton, you know that they are going to keep clean sheets, and if Cucurella is going to get some attacking returns, also I think that that's just a bonus, so that's why I think that he's an amazing pick for this double game week and maybe also long term. So as you can see in game week 22, they are going to play against Crystal Palace and Chelsea, so 2 fixtures at home, which is nice. Obviously against Chelsea is going to be tough, but we saw how good they played in the last game against Chelsea. I think that Brighton can keep a clean sheet against Chelsea. Obviously, it's not going to be easy, but there is a possibility, in my opinion at least, and also against Crystal Palace. So even if they are not going to keep 2 clean sheets, I think that it's worth going for Marc Cucurella. The fixtures are pretty decent. Leicester away is not great from a defensive perspective because Leicester can totally score against them, but honestly, they're gonna have a blank in game week 24 because that's when Chelsea are gonna play in the World Cup. But the thing is, the fixtures long term are pretty decent. Watford, Burnley, Villa, and I think that it's no harm to have a Brighton defender. Maybe you don't have a goalkeeper like Sanchez, and long term they have some fixtures to be rearranged, so they're gonna have some double game weeks, and I think that Cucurella is a really nice option for this game week and maybe also for long term. The next player on my watch list is Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm not gonna talk too much about him because obviously everybody knows him, everybody knows how good he can be and what he can do on the pitch. I'm just gonna say that now. I think that at that price, 12.5 millions, he's not worth the money. His ownership is 31%, so pretty high. I don't think that Cristiano Ronaldo is a good long-term option in FPL in particular because when Salah is gonna be back, I think that you need to spread your money a little bit, so it's gonna be pretty tough to have Cristiano Ronaldo in your team. And also, if you don't want to captain him more games, if you just want to captain Mohamed Salah, I don't think that is a good FPL option for you. But in particular for this double game week 22 against Aston Villa away and Brentford away, I think that is going to be a great option. Probably he's going to be the best captaincy option for this game week. Against Aston Villa away is going to be tough, but against Brentford away is going to be okay. So overall, this double game week is decent for Manchester United. Another problem is that last night we just found out that Cristiano Ronaldo has a minor muscle injury. So the thing is, we don't know if he's going to be fit for this double game week, but we just need to wait and see. So as you can see, he scored 8 goals, 3 assists this season. He's not really creating chances, but that's okay because we want him to score goals. So as you can see, he got 47 goal attempts in the box, which is pretty decent, and his XG plus XA per 90 is also okay, 0.72, but you're expecting those numbers for a 12.5 million forward, right? So as you can see, the fixtures long term for Manchester United are amazing. West Ham, Burnley, Southampton, Leeds and Watford in Gaming 27, so I'm not gonna lie, the fixtures are great for United, but the problem is they are not performing at their top level at the moment, so that's the only problem I can see with Manchester United. I'm not saying that they are gonna be this bad all the season, but I need to see something first before I'm gonna have confidence in bringing some Manchester United players. So at the moment, if I was to choose some Manchester United players to buy for my team, they would be David De Gea and Cristiano Ronaldo. Next up on the list we have Joshua King from Watford. So before everyone asking me why I picked Joshua King instead of Emmanuel Dennis, I'm just gonna say that personally I prefer Joshua King as an FPL option. I'm not saying that Dennis is a bad pick because obviously he scored more points than King, and I think that both of them are pretty good picks, but I included just one of them. And at the moment with Emmanuel Dennis, we know that he has a little injury. He was subbed off in the last game at halftime, so at the moment I'm not sure if he's gonna be fit for this gaming, but obviously we need to wait and see, and after that maybe we can reconsider who is the best pick out of these two. So as you can see, King is also cheaper, he's 5.8 millions, his ownership is lower, so he's more like a differential than Dennis, so that's another reason why I'm leaning towards King at the moment. Another reason would be that he's on penalties, so at the moment I think that we know that King is fit and probably is gonna play 2 games, so at the moment he's my pick. He scored 5 goals, he got 4 assists this season. As you can see, he got 27 goal attempts, he's creating chances, his XG plus XA per 90, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, is pretty decent for a 5.8 million forward, 0.53, and that's another reason why I'm leaning towards Joshua King instead of Dennis. His underlying stats are just better, he's on penalties, and at the moment I know that he's fit, so that's why he's on this watch list, and that's why Emmanuel Dennis is not on this watch list, because he's more safe at the moment. We know that Watford has maybe the best double game week this game week. So as you can see, against Newcastle away and Burnley away, two of the best fixtures you can get at the moment in FPL. So I'm expecting Watford to have a really nice double game week. Obviously you don't have so many options to pick from. I think that Dennis and King are the only 2 options you can pick from Watford, and after that also Norwich at home. So the fixtures are pretty decent for Watford. West Ham, Brighton, Villa, Man United are not amazing, but honestly you have a cheap forward, so you don't need to play him every game week if you don't need to, and that's why I think that King is a really nice option for this double game week, but also for long term. The next player on my watch list is Reguilon, a defender from Spurs. So as you can see, his price is 5.4 millions, but I think that he's worth all the money. His ownership is still pretty low, 70%, but I think that's gonna rise a little bit when we approach the deadline. So as you can see, he scored 1 goal, 3 assists this season, he's creating chances, he got 7 clean sheets, which is amazing. They are defending better with Antonio Conte as a manager. Also his XG plus XA per 90 is not amazing, but honestly I think that's pretty decent for a defender, 0.22. So as you can see, they are gonna have a double game week against Arsenal at home and against Leicester away, which is not ideal, but honestly you don't own Reguilon just for the clean sheets, right? Because obviously against Arsenal you can see a clean sheet, but against Leicester maybe you can see some attacking returns for Reguilon. That's how I see things, and obviously we all know how attacking he can be, how advanced he is on the pitch, and I think that from Spurs, if you want to go for a defender, I think that he's the best option, because with Emerson Royal there are some rumors that Spurs want to transfer in Adama Traore from Wolverhampton to play him as a right winger, so maybe Antonio Conte doesn't rate Emerson Royal that much, so maybe he's not that safe as Reguilon, but obviously that's just rumors, so we need to see what's gonna happen. The thing is, I didn't include Harry Kane in this watch list, but obviously he would be in my watch list, but I didn't want to include so many players from Spurs, but obviously Harry Kane could be a nice option. I just think that Harry Kane is maybe not as good as an FPL pick without Heung-min Son, which I think that Lucas Moura could be a nice option without Heung-min Son. So that's the reason why Harry Kane is not in this watch list. So as you can see, they're gonna play against Chelsea away, so pretty tough. From a defensive perspective, I think that the fixtures are pretty okay for clean sheets. Against Chelsea and City obviously is gonna be tough, but against Southampton, Wolverhampton and Leeds I can see some clean sheets for Spurs, and also they have some games to be rearranged, so Reguilon long term could be a nice option. The last player on my watch watchlist is Danny Ings from Aston Villa. So he's the only player on this watchlist without a double gaming, but as you can see, he's a forward. His price is 7.7 million. So at the moment, Watkins just dropped in price, so he has the same price at Watkins, and he has also penalties. So that's why before I just thought that Watkins was the better pick when Ings was getting back from an injury and he didn't play all the games. But at the moment, I just think that if I was to choose between Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins, I think that Ings would be my pick. I'm not saying that Watkins is a bad pick because he played pretty decent yesterday against Manchester United in the FA Cup, but I just think that at the same price with penalties, I think that Danny Ings could be a better pick. His ownership is also lower, he's 7.7 ownership. He scored 4 goals this season, he got 2 assists, but you need to take into consideration that he didn't play all the games. At some point he got injured. He got 19 goal attempts in the box, which is what we want from a striker, and his XG plus XA per 90 honestly is not good, 0.23. But the thing why I included Danny Ings on this watchlist is because I think that the fixtures long term are pretty good for Aston Villa. So Man United at home, even that game could be okay in gaming 22, but after that there is a high possibility for Aston Villa to have a double gaming in gaming 23. So Everton away, Leeds, Newcastle, Watford, Brighton away. The fixtures are pretty good long term, and another reason why he's on this list because we know that Aston Villa just signed Felipe Coutinho from Barcelona, so I think that he could be a nice option alongside Coutinho, and I think that he's gonna add that creativity in Aston Villa. And also we know that they are trying to sign also Luca Digne from Everton, so that's why I think that Danny Ings long term could be a nice option for FPL. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider leaving a like or subscribing to this channel if you're new around here. It would be really helpful for me and I really appreciate it. And also please let me know about your opinions in the comments down below. See you next time.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.